Zaslow and Cody have spent the entire break arguing about whether or not the Dolphins,
I won that argument.
Whether or not the Dolphins quit or not on Sunday. I am really wondering what the score would have been if they had quit. Like, when everyone looked at the scoreboard when they saw Cleveland won 31-6, if they did not watch the game, they're like, oh, that was a team that wasn't trying on the other side. If that's what happened at Cleveland. But we'll have Dianna settle this for us. As incidentally, RG3 says on the Dan Patrick Show that the Miami Dolphins need to blow it all up. They need to fire McDaniel, and they need to get rid of Tua too. And Bill Cowher and others are saying, yeah, the Dolphins quit on Sunday. Your assessment here, Dianna?
Yeah, I think we all saw it. I don't think anyone watched that game and thought that Mike McDaniel even wanted to be out there in the rain and in the cold. He looked miserable just being the head coach. So we'll just start with him on the sideline, and obviously the ridiculous sunglasses. And he just looks like, for a coach that I think had so much potential and is still a really bright guy, he just looks like it's spinning a little bit out of his control. Maybe not even a little bit. I think a lot of it. I think the pressure of all this is mounting, and the players are unfortunately left with a lot of questions and not getting a lot of answers. They will tell you over and over in Miami, and the people I talk to there, they're trying to figure it out. They're trying to get the right people leading these meetings. The name Anthony Weaver, the defensive coordinator, his name has come up. He's come up in league circles for the last few seasons as somebody that is a leader of men. And to me, that's just what the Dolphins look like they need right now. I understand what they're doing here, right? I talked to some people on Monday after that game about, all right, making changes, right? What do we got? Well, when are you guys going to fire Mike? Just give us a heads up. And they continue to say the same thing, which is we're not doing it because ownership believes that he can still continue to turn this around. That's obviously Stephen Ross's opinion, and we all have varied ones.
Deshaun Watson is the worst contract in the league. Is Tua second worst? Who's second worst? What's the second worst contract in the league?
I mean, Tua's up there. I think Trevor Lawrence gets thrown in there a lot when you talk about bad deals. Look, I understand what the Dolphins were doing with Tua. And when they did it, I don't think any of us from a salary standpoint were really criticizing it that much. I know I wasn't. I thought it was a fair deal for him. And if you remember at the time, the concern was less about his play and more about the injuries, right? It was more about whether or not he could stay healthy on the field, and was this really worth the risk? Which is why I had always thought that for Chris Greer and this organization needed to make sure no matter what happens, no matter how much they're paying their starter, they better have a really good backup plan in place. And guys, the theme of this season more than ever, and nobody wants to hear it because it's boring, but the teams that are doing well have quarterbacks that are part of good programs with good coaching and good support. And at one point, I would have said the Dolphins were one of them. At one point, I believed in what Mike McDaniel and Tua were building. And this has really veered into a territory now where it seems like there is no hope left, that they really can't turn this around, despite the fact that ownership.
Everyone did believe, though, Dianna. Everyone believed like you did when they were at the top of the offensive power ratings. Like, that's where the belief came from. We saw Tua be better than any of us thought that he was.
Exactly. But there is a major disconnect between Tua and his coach. That is quite obvious. They're literally doing it publicly. What did we really expect, though, on Sunday? And I'm calling myself on that, out on that as well. I did not go into that game going, oh, yeah, the Dolphins, they'll get through this. I mean, I criticized the Eagles left and right because of their drama. And you can do it and know that they're still going to perform because they're that good and they've got the right leaders. That is not Miami at all. And I don't understand. Look, I will never be one to sit up here and go, yes, change is needed, fire coaches in season. But when it starts to look like this, when you're losing the locker room and you're losing effort, just basic effort, I don't know how they can just be okay with it. And I was here listening to you guys talk about ownership before. And for those that are watching the show right now, you can see I'm sitting in a hallway. I'm literally at the owners meeting in Midtown Manhattan right now, where all the owners are upstairs, including Stephen Ross, having just mandatory meetings that they do every fall.
That's a side entrance of a hotel if I've ever seen it.
For real.
It really, this is a shady one.
Dianna, are
This
you
is where
sitting down too? People are walking by and they're way taller than you. Are you sitting down on
Looks
something?
like a
Yes,
courtroom.
yeah, I'm like on a chair.
Like,
What do you think? She was
Imagine
gonna
that
stand
sad
up?
chair.
No, that looks like a
That
courtroom.
chair looks expensive.
I was going to ask if you travel
You
with
guys
that
want to
chair.
do like a true, like
Ooh, do the fake elevator bit.
That's funny.
If I sat, most of the owners would be that height anyway. They're not that tall.
Yeah, right. You can sit down. Don't worry about it.
Okay, cool. I'll sit down. So, which by the way, small observation that I make because this is so bizarre what I'm doing. So for those that don't know, what I do is I'm sitting in the lobby while the owners are meeting. And then when they break, they're going to come down, maybe get some water, have some food. Some of them are going to leave. And there's no setup interviews. Nobody's saying, okay, Stephen Ross, you're now going to sit with the Athletics, Dianna Russini. He's just walking. And I then have to go chase him and ask him for an interview, which I will be doing right after we talk here to see what is the direction of this organization. So it's a little bit of a weird scenario and a weird situation because they don't want to talk to you. I don't really want to talk to them, but I have a job. And this just happens all afternoon. So this is kind of, you guys are catching me at the perfect time because they're meeting. So I'm not really missing anything. But you know, the bigger, wow, you're right. I really look small.
People look gigantic behind
Dianna,
you.
you look so tiny.
Oh, these are important. These are league office people. They're very important.
Oh, wow.
Ask them if they think the Dolphins quit.
Cody, what do you have for Dianna?
Dianna, everybody says the Dolphins quit. You just refer to them.
The dirtiest look ever.
You just refer to them having a lack of effort. When you say things like they quit or they didn't show effort, is the final score always enough, or do you need evidence on the field? I'm wondering what you saw in that game on the field from Miami that told you they quit. Who did you see with a lack of effort in that game?
I don't even think it's about Miami as much as it's about the Browns. Like if you're going into Cleveland and you're not even able to put up a decent fight against an okay team that, outside of their defense, which is exceptional. Like I think we can all agree that they're the best part of the Browns is why they're able to even stay alive. But you're talking about Dylan Gabriel as the quarterback, a rookie who I didn't know that much about him coming into the draft, right? So, look, I want to believe in Mike. And every time he steps up to the podium, pointing the finger at himself, I mean, they're actually all pointing the finger at each other. But why did we expect effort? Like, did you think that performance was filled with a bunch of disciplined players that came in with a really good game plan, that were going to lean into the skill sets that they have, which we could probably do a whole segment of what are the Miami Dolphins good at right now? I don't know.
Greg, what would the score have to have been for you to concede? And I'm not saying they quit. I'm just asking you what.
Greg, are you saying, I feel like you're trying to say that you think that my opinion that they weren't making effort is wrong, that was just bad football, that they were trying, but they just are not very good.
Yeah, you just think they're bad.
Of course, I think there was effort in that game. I think it was a bad team losing to a bad team, a bad team beating an even worse team. I'm not accusing you of anything. Anybody who says they quit, anybody who says that was a lack of effort by that team. I always say, what on the field, beyond the final score, what on the field did you see? What player on the field did you see quitting? Now, when Jimmy Butler was almost leaving the Heat, there were analytics that showed Jimmy Butler had quit.
An example of a corner just giving up and not even attempting to make a tackle or I don't think we're at that part of the season where guys know that it's done and they're just you hear this all the time where guys in the locker room will tell you no one was even trying because they don't want to get hurt. This one's in a contract year. He's not willing to take a risk. Hello. No, it's okay.
Did they offer you something? What was that?
Cup of coffee?
Is that Mr. Ross?
I mean, what did you have for Dianna?
Well, it just seems to me that the Dolphins.
Dolphins time!
Wow.
Yeah, about 5 minutes passed on Dolphins time.
That is
It's
time
enough.
on the Dolphins.
Hey, Frank, I want to go back and watch the game. And
Time!
No more.
Time!
You called it. Diana,
that,
trust me.
that I take
I had a-
because now I want to give better examples.
Time.
Diana, trust me. I had a great question, but it's time, so we got to go on to something different. So you
Wait, what
mentioned
is the time thing? We're only allowed to talk.
no more
Time.
Dolphins.
Too much
Stop.
talking about
No
it.
more
Yeah.
Dolphins.
Time.
Time
done.
said we get
Tap it out.
That's it.
No more Dolphins.
Yeah.
They're a pathetic joke of a
Ya,
franchise.
suficiente.
Time.
Ya, suficiente. Ya, no más. Por favor.
Time.
This is echoing in the lobby of the Omni.
You don't have headphones on?
No, I forgot to bring them, and so now.
Okay, well, I'll whisper the
Embarrassing.
question.
See Omni ever done
So, Diana,
Danny
so
B of the day.
you mentioned that the owners will come downstairs for refreshments, and that's when you'll sidle up.
Is that Louis Riddick?
How do you sidle up? What's your opening line to gain the confidences of an owner?
Okay, actually, I need your opinion about something. So, because I only see the owners 3 times a year, roughly, I always think the most professional approach is always to reintroduce myself, right? No matter what, even the ones that I've known for years, to just, hey, how are you? Just Dianna Russini.
Yeah,
you
they're
know,
old.
Just familiarity, and also to remind them that I'm not just a fan or a person that works for the league, so they're aware that they are talking to a journalist and that what we talk about is probably going to be written about, or I'm going to talk about it. But I've noticed a little trend yesterday when I was doing this, where I think they get offended that I introduce myself as if I'm underestimating their recall. So then I got a lot of like, yeah, I know. And I'm like, wait, I was just doing that because I know you meet a lot of people. You're very important. My face is very boring and bland. And, you know, I look like 6 different people in the lobby right now.
Diana,
you know?
the problem is it comes off as fake humility. Like, you know.
No, it doesn't.
you may-
She's trying to be courteous.
Yeah, what do you
I know.
know?
I know what she's trying to do.
I
know.
see what you're
I-
saying.
I
like,
know what
"Hi,
she's
Dianna
doing.
Rossini, but I know you know who I am. Like that.
Exactly. Yeah. Like kind of
Oh,
like,
yeah,
hey,
no.
I don't know.
My brain, my brain does not go that way. I want to. I should probably be a little bit.
what a great self-assessment from you. Wow, I'd like to be arrogant, but I'm not. I can't
That in
even
itself is arrogant.
I
though.
can't even try fake humility. No, it's just humility. Like
Aspiring to
Yeah,
arrogance.
I don't know what I want to be, but I can tell you this version doesn't work. So, no, it's a good question. So, look, I watch these TikTok videos about how to improve small talk because
Get out of here.
the professionals at small talk say the worst thing you could do in a conversation is to go, hey, Dan, how are you? Worst. Subconsciously, your brain shuts down and you're no longer interested. But if I make an observation about you physically, or I'm aware of something you're working, hey, Dan, how's that project going? Or, let's just say, I'm trying to think of an owner who I saw Charlotte Jones, who is lovely to talk to, and I hadn't seen her in a while. And I went right up to her and said, hey, Charlotte Dianna. And she's like, oh, how are you? She did it. I just went back. How's life since Micah? I just went right into it.
Nice.
So
you're also in the awkward position though of meeting all of these people, and it's so transactional. You need something. They don't, right? And so that makes the whole thing awkward.
So, yes, but I enjoy this event more than most because owners don't care, right? Coaches lie, players lie. I'm sure the owners lie too, but they just say it. I talked to Woody Johnson yesterday. Did you see what he said?
Yeah. You were there?
Guys, I didn't even ask him about Justin Fields. He just said it. Like he's like, can't complete a pass,
Who wants to hear what I have to say about Justin Fields?
The whole time I'm sitting there listening to him, I'm thinking, he's not wrong. Like, is it good for the locker room and for the Jets players to hear their owner basically say that their quarterback stinks? No. But he's thinking what every other Jet fan is thinking and saying it. So yeah, Dan, I'm with you. Like, it definitely feels a little transactional, and they know I'm only talking to them because I want to hear about the state of their team. But there's owners like Carly Ursay, who is not someone I would have been chasing down a few years ago, whereas their team's doing well. So they want to stop. The Teppers, right? Like, usually they were sprinting down the hallway. Today they stopped, right? Because their team's above 500 for the first time since 2019.
Their season's over.